Welcome back. This is video 2 in our series of FlipGrid for educators. So again, if you're just getting started with this, I'm going to show you a couple topics. In video 1, by the way, we went ahead and we discussed the different examples up here and that you can go to as an educator. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this is where the magic happens down here in topics. So 2 examples that I have of topics is I'm going to scroll down and find 2. So one basic example is this one. I just went ahead and I typed in a prompt for our students and a purpose for their thinking. And I typed this in and then I hit create. It was that easy. Then, and you can see there's nothing else in here. It's asking me if I want to add things. I didn't for this. I just wanted to go ahead and have them briefly explain. So the other one that I had was over here, and this one is a little bit more in depth. So when I went ahead and created this one, you'll see that I went ahead and did it around a specific indicator. And again, ask the students, I gave them specific directions, more specific directions in this. And I also wanted to include an image, but I also had an activity, a link back to an activity that we did, so that way they could, again, click on this if they needed a little bit of help remembering about their model that they created. So again, just some tips in here. This one's got a little bit more features than the other, but really didn't take that long to set up either. I'm going to show you what it looks like from the student end for these 2 different topics. So the first one is basic. The student will just come here. It says, tell me everything that you already know or think you know about plant cells. The students will just go ahead, they'll click record a response, and then, or down here, they'll click this, and then they'll record their response to, again, this prompt. So the other one, if you remember, I added a link to help them if they needed some clarification or they needed to kind of be reminded of the activity. So they could click on this link if they needed to. And again, it's going to take them back to some of the directions that we had in that activity so they could scroll through that if they really needed to. And again, they also have an image over here that if they needed to view it, they could click on view. And then again, they could look at that image and that'll help them possibly with, again, responding to this response. So again, for this topic, all they would do is hit either record a response or click this, and then they're good to go. So to create these types of topics, it's pretty easy. And I'm going to head back inside of my teacher account now. And if you remember that landing page, when you log into FlipGrid as an educator, is going to take you to the discussion. So when I go to discussions, I want to go to topics because this is where I'm going to create a topic. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to add a topic. I'll click on add a topic. And I'm going to walk you through the process. The first thing you want to do is add a title. So for this one, I'll call it, and then when I come down here to my prompt, so again, I'm going to go ahead and type in my prompt. You can see that I have, again, kind of set that here for the students. And I'm going to show you a couple additional features. Some cool things. If I want to bold some words, I can go ahead and I can do that here, just so they stand out a little bit more. Again, we have some basic features that are pretty self-explanatory. The other thing that I like is right here, the link. So sometimes what I do is I will post a link where it says click here, and then I'll go ahead and insert a link. So for this, I had a video of the read aloud to where I may go ahead and copy this. And now I'm gonna paste this inside of here, and I'm gonna hit insert. So again, now students will see that click here. They can click on this live link. And again, it's inside of those directions. As I scroll down, you'll see that my computer is running low. But you'll also see that I can choose recording time. So this is where I can choose it. It goes up to 10 minutes for the response. And then you have topic moderation. And again, if I want to go ahead and make sure that students, that I have to preview this before it goes live to other students, then I'll click on this. But again, students are going to post under their Google account, so we will have some accountability there. So I leave that like that. So once I come down here, you go ahead and you can see there's media options for me to add to my FlipGrid. So I may want to go ahead. You saw that I added a YouTube video, and I just did that by inserting a link. I could also add it here if I wanted to. Again, I've got an image that I want to upload. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go ahead and click in here. And then I have an image for this that I'm just going to look for. It's right there. I'm going to select it. And then again, I can go ahead and it allows me to crop this. So that way I can make sure I get all of the image in, and I hit crop. And now that image is going to be part of this. Down here at the bottom is probably one of the most important features and overlooked features. It is the access control. Again, for safety purposes, I keep this private. That means that I'm going to allow only certain people in. If you make it public, it means anyone on the internet can go ahead and get in. So I'm going to keep it private for my student safety, and I'm going to assign it by student email. Over here, I'm going to put in the @live.gcsd.k12.scus. And then on this side, I'm going to also add in the @gcsd.k12.sc.us. So that way I can have students or teachers go ahead and they can access this FlipGrid topic. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit create topic. You'll notice it tells me my topic is ready. Congratulations. All right. So I can either copy this link right here and share that with my students, or I've also has these great features. I can send it out via Remind if I have a Remind account, or right here, I can share to Google Classroom. You also see that you've got Microsoft Teams on here as well. And I can embed this if I have a web page. So again, most people probably share this directly to Google Classroom. It goes right to their students, and then all they do is click on this and they're ready to answer. So I just wanted to show you that. And again, here's kind of what that final product looks like. You can see that there is a link in here, and there's also an image. So again, I'm going to come back out here. I want to go to my discussion board. You'll notice that after I created this, it is not assigned to a group. And this is where I wanted to kind of talk to you about groups. So it's fine if it's not assigned to a group. However, let's say that I wanted to create a group and I wanted maybe another teacher to be a co-pilot of this topic board. So that way they could have administrative rights as well. I would just come here to groups. I would create a group, and maybe I want to call this Mr. F's second block. And you can see there's a join code here. So I could share this group. I can share it that way. I can also add students via email. Like we said before, I'm going to hit next. And this is where, again, in order for students to come in here, this is where I'm going to type in that @live.gcsd.k12.sc.us. And then I'm also going to hit the @gcsd. So that way, if teachers want to go ahead and respond as well, they can too. And I'm going to hit next. I'm going to skip my topics for now. And again, here's my group. So I'm going to go to this group. Now, once I'm in this group, I said I wanted to add a co-pilot. So let's say that I have another teacher that I want to go ahead and give administrative rights to this FlipGrid topic. I'm going to come here to add a co-pilot. I click on it, and then I just type in their email. So I could go ahead and I could type in the other co-pilot to this, and then I can just click invite. And then that co-pilot is also now an administrator on any of the topics that go into this group. Right now, I currently have no topics in this group. So again, I just come back to that main page, or I guess that landing page in discussions. And now under topics, you can see the epic adventures of Hugging Stick that we just created. If I want to add that to the group, I just click on add to group. I come here and you can see, here we go. Mr. F's second block. I can now click to that and I can assign that topic to that group. And now that other teacher and myself can act as administrators. We can both see any of the topics that go in there. We can delete topics and responses if we need to. And again, just kind of change all those settings. So that's kind of the back end of the teacher side of things. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and in our next video, I'm going to show you what it looks like for the students.